All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to dive into the top 5 teams that could land Jimmy Butler in this year's NBA free agency. And it starts with the team that's been the hottest on his trail as of late. It's the Houston Rockets. Now, one little caveat here with this Houston team is that it has to be a sign and trade, because this team, they've got no cap space. Like zero, zilch, negative, basically, at this point. So what they want to do is they want to put Jimmy Butler in this same big three and make Harden, Chris Paul, and Jimmy Butler the new big three in Houston. Now, of course, Butler is from the Houston area, so he's already got some ties there. That's kind of his hometown. So maybe he's interested in playing there, but what would have to happen is he would say, hey, Philly, I'm leaving. All right, you got to let me walk. But if you want something out of this, I'm going to Houston. You can do a sign and trade and make it happen. Now, how does this work? Well, look, Houston's contracts, they've got some bad ones. They've got Clint Capella, PJ Tucker, and Eric Gordon that they have to offload if they want to bring in an all-star like Jimmy Butler, who would be making a max contract. So what did I do? I put it in the trade, my little trade machine. I came up with some stuff, and here's what I got. Pretty simply, if you just want to go Philly and Houston, you can make it work. You send Jimmy Butler, obviously, to the Rockets. He's their newest third star there. You ship out Clint Capella, their starting center, a great defensive big man and rebounder, and he's really young. And then you also ship out Eric Gordon, a top-tier three-point shooter. And the Sixers get a pretty nice haul. They get Capella. You can go a huge front court of Joel Embiid and Capella, and then you get a shooter because Lord knows Ben Simmons needs all the shooting he can get. And Eric Gordon, he brings that to Philadelphia. But if this doesn't work, another rumor has Houston shopping Gordon, Capella, and Tucker all separately, and you send one of them out to a third team. Now, who is that third team? We don't know right now, but here's what we got. You get Jimmy Butler into Houston. Eric Gordon stays going to Philly because I think they would value shooting a little bit more than they would value the big man kind of rebounding and defense that Clint Capella would play. They also get a first-round pick for, of course, helping Houston get their guy. And whoever this third team is, lucks out, gets a pretty nice young piece in Clint Capella as a part of this whole fiasco that is the Houston Rockets trying to clear cap space. So now the question becomes, will the Rockets actually be able to pull something like this off? Will they actually be able to land a third star? If you think they will, type Y for yes. If you think they won't, type in for no. Right now, there is no easy path to making this happen, but Daryl Morey's going to do everything he can to try to get Harden and CP3 some more help in Houston. Now, another team that wants to build a big three is the Los Angeles Lakers. They've been tied to Jimmy Butler for so long now. I mean, before he was shipped out to Philadelphia, it was New York and LA. Whenever he was supposed to leave Minnesota, he was going to go to one of these two teams. Then he went to Philly, had some success there, and now the Lakers are back in play. Of course, they still have some maneuvering to do with their cap space. They're not quite at the max contract ability yet. But once they get there, I would fully expect Jimmy Butler to be a top target for the Lakers. And honestly, I'd expect Jimmy Butler to consider the Lakers as well, at least give them a sit-down meeting. But Jimmy Butler is not their only option. The Lakers have a lot of players they're chasing this summer. Truly, I believe it all starts with KYRIE Irving. They need a point guard, and he fits the bill. He's already played with LeBron James. You slip him in there, it makes sense. Kawhi Leonard is another guy. They feel they have a real shot at him. I don't believe they do. We'll see what happens. And then after those two, I think comes in, it's Jimmy Butler. I think he becomes the third most realistic option, or the third target that they go after the hardest in Lakerland. Of course, followed by Kemba Walker and Kevin Durant as well. And if the Lakers can land Jimmy Butler, if they can land this third star to go alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis, this is a pretty good lineup in LA. Now, I know there's no real point guard, but Jimmy Butler was given playmaking responsibilities in Philadelphia. LeBron James handles the ball. He can bring it up anytime he wants and absolutely easily run the point. You don't need a point guard. So you go those big three plus Kuzma. Maybe you bring back Reggie Bullock. Go over the cap to sign him. I wouldn't hate it for the Lakers. Speaking of the Lakers, they're making a lot of moves this summer. It's going to be a huge offseason in Laker Nation. If you want to stay caught up with every single second of it, you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed to our Lakers-only channel, youtube.com/LakersTV. Now, the Brooklyn Nets, the other team in New York, they want to bring in Jimmy Butler, but I think that all kind of hinges on, can they get Kyrie Irving there as well? And if they can, then all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, buddy, they go to Brooklyn and help this team go over, get pushed past where they were last season. They were a really good team, a 6th seed in the playoffs with D'Angelo Russell at the helm of it all. That's just one all-star. That's like a fringe all-star too. He barely even made it. You can go out and get Jimmy Butler plus KYRIE. All of a sudden, that's 2 all-stars on one team that already made the playoffs. I really like the fit there with Jimmy and KYRIE, but the question becomes, does he actually go there if they can't land another star? And I don't know if he does. Now, if they bring in Kyrie Irving, his buddy, you get 2 nearly 20-point-per-game scorers, 2 guys that can pass the ball well, and 2 guys that shoot it lights out from 3, and they're best friends. So you get an all-star backcourt, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler, and the Nets have a really, really solid core to build around. But in all reality, we almost know, like it's becoming more and more realistic that Kyrie Irving is already going to go there. So who is he going to bring along with him? I want to know, who is the ideal partner for Kyrie on the Nets? Is it Kevin Durant, despite his injury keeping him out for a year? Is it Jimmy Butler, who we just talked about? Is it somebody else? Just let me know. Type it down in the comments section. Now from Brooklyn, we move over to New York, and this is the team that has probably been the hottest on Jimmy Butler's trail since a long time ago. Again, like LA, this was another team that everyone expected to go pretty hard after Jimmy Butler once he hits unrestricted free agency, and now that is happening. But the thing is, the Knicks have bigger plans first. They're also going to chase Kyrie Irving, and if they land Kyrie, which is looking unlikely at this point, then they're also going to chase Kevin Durant, similar to the Brooklyn Nets. But Jimmy Butler kind of gets put on the back burner in that situation. Of course, like I said, they've been connected to him forever, but can they actually convince Jimmy to go there plus another star? That's going to be the biggest question, much like the Brooklyn Nets. Like the Lakers, their top 5 free agent targets are pretty similar. Kevin Durant and Kyrie are 1 and 2. You can even call it 1A and 1B. Jimmy Butler is your 3rd guy there. I think if they miss out on KD and or Kyrie, then they go pretty hard after Kyrie. Then comes in Kawhi Leonard. Tobias Harris is also a plan B type option if you're the Knicks. But if the Knicks can pull this off, let's say they miss out on Kevin Durant, or heck, maybe they just say, you know what, we're not going to waste a year with an injured KD. Let's just go out and get 2 other all-stars, Kyrie and Jimmy Butler. Much like the Brooklyn Nets, you get that all-star backcourt. But then you have a prized young rookie in RJ Barrett, another guy, 2nd-year guy, Kevin Knox, and then another 2nd-year dude in Mitchell Robinson, who is a great rim protector. This lineup right here is top 4 in the Eastern Conference. Call me crazy, I believe that. But if they can't land either of them, things get pretty darn ugly in New York. Dennis Smith Jr. is your starting point guard. He's fun to watch. He's not pushing you into the playoffs. Lonzo Trier, nope. Kevin Knox, again, a good player, but not someone you can build an offense around or build, a team around. And then you slip in RJ Barrett. He'll be a really, really good player. I think if given the chance, if there's not another all-star there, RJ Barrett could win Rookie of the Year in New York. I think it's very realistic, but it's not getting you into the playoffs. Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving, on the other hand, they will get you into the playoffs, and that's what New York is hoping for. 2 all-stars this summer. But another team that wants 2 all-stars is the Philadelphia 76ers, and the 2 all-stars they want are basically already on their team in Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris, but can they bring them back? That's the biggest question. I still have them as a huge threat to sign Jimmy Butler. A 5-year max is super, super hard for any free agent to turn down. And if he gets it, especially entering probably the back half of his prime at this point, is he really going to turn it down? There's also a chance they could lose out on both Tobias and Jimmy Butler. So if it comes down to one or the other, who are you choosing? Is it Tobias or is it Jimmy Butler? Now on paper, and when you look at the numbers, Harris has the edge in points per game. He's got the edge in rebounds. He's also got the edge in 3-point shooting. So you're like, Jimmy, not Jimmy Butler. My name's Jimmy as well. Jimmy, why would you go after Butler rather than Harris? Well, you got to remember, Jimmy Butler is an elite 2-way player. But ideally, they want to bring back both. I don't think it's going to have to come down to choosing one or the other. They're either going to bring them both back or they both leave. That's my prediction here for the Philadelphia 76ers. But if they can bring them back, it's a pretty beautiful sight in Philly again. Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, that is your main core. That's really what's going to push you into the playoffs. Right now, I've got Matisse Thybulle, a rookie, starting in there. They could potentially bring in J.J. Redick, bring him back. And you run back this same team that nearly made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. If it wasn't for a few bounces Kawhi Leonard's way, Philadelphia 76ers would have been in that Eastern Conference Finals. Pretty crazy to think about. And it's nice. I mean, it's a great lineup, top team in the Eastern Conference. But if they miss out, if Toby and Jimmy Butler decide, hey, I'm gone, things get ugly in Philly. I mean, you're talking the process starting all over again. Ben Simmons is still your point guard. That man can't shoot, so you can't really rely on him to always get you offense. And Joel Embiid, that's your 2 players. Because after that, it's Thibault, Zaire Smith, Jonah Bolden. That's literally all they have under contract right now. Now, don't get me wrong, if they lose Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris, they're going to go chase somebody, okay? It's not just going to be that 5. But that's potentially what could happen in Philadelphia. Now, I gave you my 5 teams, but I want to know from you guys, from our loyal watchers, where will Jimmy Butler sign in free agency this summer? Is it one of those 5? Is there a sleeper team? Let me know.